All right, hello, it's Mrs. Rowe, and I am here to show you how to make a paper snowflake today. So what you're going to need is a piece of paper and a pair of scissors, and that is it. You can use any kind of paper you'd like. You could use plain white paper, printer paper, thicker drawing paper like I have here. You could use special paper, even wrapping paper. You could use magazine paper, anything you have at home, colored paper, whatever is fine. First, you're going to make a square. So if you've got a rectangular piece of paper, you're going to want to turn it into a square first. And here's how you do that. You're going to take one corner of the rectangle. So I have this big rectangle here, and I'm going to take one corner on the short end and fold it up to the other side until I can make a point on this side. So whenever I fold, I line it up first before I press down on the other side at all. So I'm lining up, and I want to make sure this is a nice pointy corner. And then once I have it matched up, then I press down to make my fold. So now I've got a triangle here and a long rectangle here. This triangle is actually a square. And so I'm just going to cut this rectangle off. So I'm going to take my scissors and just cut right along this line to cut that rectangle off to turn this piece of paper into a square. So I'm just going to trim that off. And now I've got a square piece of paper to work with. So I'm going to unfold that, and I've got one fold already going diagonally. I can refold that back up because to make a paper snowflake, you're going to want to keep folding your paper into smaller and smaller triangles. And you can do as many times as you want. So I've got some pretty thick paper here. It's actually easier to make a snowflake out of printer paper, thin paper, but this is what I have here at home. So I'm going to show you as much as I can how to fold this to make it smaller. So I've got one triangle. To make your triangle smaller, you're going to take one corner here, the kind of pointier corners. This is a wider right angle here. I'm going to take the other corners and match them right up first, and I can kind of pinch this end and then push this other end down. And like I said, I've got thick paper here, so it's getting harder. It will get harder and harder to fold that paper every time you make it smaller. So for snowflakes, I say thinner paper is better. You can even use a coffee filter if you have one and just keep folding it. It will just look sort of like a ice cream cone shape instead of a triangle shape. And it will work the same way. So now I've got that same triangle again, but it's smaller. I'm going to fold it the same way from one corner to another and then press that down. I'm going to try to fold it one more time, but I'm not sure I can. I'm going to do my best. If this is as far as you can fold, that will work fine. But I'm going to try one more time. It will be more detailed the more... Actually, you know what? I'm going to keep it this way because I noticed how thick my paper was. So you want to hold your piece of paper like this. So you've got, when you open it, you've got ends that are kind of pointing out, and you've got one part where it's the middle, and it doesn't have as much ends sticking out. It's sort of everywhere, every fold is coming together at this point right here. So I'm going to hold this point at the bottom. This is the middle of your snowflake. So if you want a hole in your snowflake, you can cut a hole right here, and this will create a hole in your snowflake. And then when you unfold it, there will be a little hole here. You can use your scissors to cut any kind of shapes out of any side of this piece of paper. So easy shapes to cut are triangles, especially when your paper is thick like mine. I'm just cutting one angle up as much as I want, and then going the other direction, cutting in. And maybe I'll do a little square here to show you what a square might look like, or rectangle. And you can get really fancy with these snowflakes. If you know half of a heart, you could cut half of a heart. It might be a little hard with how much space I have left. You could cut half of a heart, and then you would have a little heart hidden in your snowflake. I'm gonna experiment, see if it works. It might not work there. Maybe it's just gonna be a circle. And then this is the outside of your snowflake. So if I leave it pointy here, my snowflake is still gonna be kind of square. If I want it to be a round snowflake, I want a curved edge here. So I can kind of cut this triangle part where all these corners are coming together right off. And then I can even cut on the outside here. So I've done circles, rectangle, triangle. I don't know. Maybe I cut sort of my own random shape and see what happens. Now, once you've cut out of all three sides, or even the tip, you can unfold it, and you will have your snowflake. And each one is completely unique. And it's okay if you make a mistake, because you can try again, and you can make as many as you want. And if you've never done this before, I think it's really fun to keep trying and see how many different snowflakes you can make. So please share any snowflakes you make on Seesaw. I'd love to see what you create, and I can't wait to see you in person again. Have a great day.